Hi, welcome back to the Wheel of Life online retreat.
好，大家好，欢迎回到生命之轮在线进修营。
And we're reaching session 5.
我们已经讲到了第5堂课。
The name of this session is The Best Time to Trigger Karmas.
这堂课的名字叫做引发业力的最佳时机。
And the picture you see here is somebody talking to a person who's on their deathbed.
在这里大家看到的这张照片呢，是某一个人在他的临终的床上对着一个临终之人在说话。
And this session we're going to follow the Tibetan text pretty closely.
在这堂课当中，我们会比较紧密的跟随藏文原文。
And if I see something that's kind of intriguing or interesting to me especially,
如果我看到一些内容对我来讲特别有意思的话，
then I'm going to stop.
我就会停下来。
And we're going to go deeper.
就会在这些内容上讲得更深。
I know it's slower.
我知道这会减缓速度。
I know some of you don't want to learn the ancient language.
我知道有一些朋友不愿意去学习古老的语言。
And I don't care.
但是我并不管。
So I'm going to do it my way.
我会按照我的方式来做。
Okay, so here we go.
好，我们要开始了。
Sun Tepe Tuni.
Sun Tepe Tumi.
I'm going to make my cursor bigger. Hang on one second. All right. Sundepetuni means, well, at what point in the death process do our karmas get activated?
这里讲的就是我们在临终的时候业力的触发时间。
Chikar means at the moment of death.
Chikar 的意思就是在临终时。
Rangki temba am shenki trend chukpa kangrugigone. It means it doesn't matter whether you remember to think about something.
这里讲的是无论是你自己就是这个临终者本人想起来某些东西，
or your friend or your relative is standing there next to you as you die.
或者说是你的亲戚或者你的朋友站在你旁边，在你临终的时候。
And they trend chukpa means they remind you. You say, don't forget to have a good.
然后他们呢提醒你了，说不要忘记了，你还有这颗好种子。
And it could be tepa tang ningje means maybe they remind you try to have faith towards your teacher.
或许他们提醒你说要尝试升起对你老师的信心，
or try to have compassion for people.
或尝试对人有慈悲。
So those are an example of gewa. Gewa means a good seed at the moment of death.
这些都是 Gewa 的这个好的例子，就是 Gewa 的意思就是在你临终时的好种子。
But it could be derchak or control.
那也可能会是 Dochak 或者是 Control。
It could be desire, strong desire, or strong anger.
有可能会升起就是很强烈的欲望或者很强烈的愤怒。
Which is migeweche. It means to die with bad seeds.
这个意思就是不善法，就是说在你死的时候带着这些不善的种子死去。
Kangrung means doesn't matter whether we're talking about good seeds when you die or bad seeds when you die.
康荣的意思就是说，无论我们讲的是死前有好的种子还是坏的种子升起。
But we're talking about dushe, rakba, jungwe, pardu, which means still your mind is in this world.
我这里这句话的意思就是，仍然你的世界，你的意识还在这个世界上。
You're still seeing the general same world.
你还是看着总体上一样的世界。
It's still your relatives standing around you.
还是你的亲戚啊站在你身边。
It's still the hospital room where they put you when you got sick.
这还是一个你生病的时候会让你住的一个医院。
Semla Chepayin means your mind is operating on this level of normal reality.
所以你的意识呢是在这个普通现实的层面上。
Now let's go back to the text.
那现在我们回到经文当中。
Dirshe Rapa Gagne, when that rough awareness stops.
当这种比较粗大的觉知也叫初想停止之后，
And you move into Chisem Tramo means a very subtle awareness of death. It's a primitive awareness that you've had for many, many, many billions of lifetimes.
然后你进入到这种叫做细微的死心，意思就是说你已经一辈子又一辈子亿万年来一直拥有的非常原始的这种觉知。
That primitive, almost animal state of mind
这种就是非常原始的，几乎像动物一样本能性的意识状态。
is Lungmaten. Lungmaten means karmically neutral.
Lungmaten 的意思就叫无记性，意思就是它在业力上是中性的。
It's as if you were deeply drugged or something.
就似乎你是有非常重的这个被下药一样，非常的沉的一种状态。
Ge mi ge kayan chan mi nu. You can't even frame the thought. You can't even think about good karma or bad karma.
你甚至无法就是能够构造一个念头，你甚至想不到是善业还是恶业。
Your mental state is just like very drunk or something.
你的这个意识状态就是像一种大醉的这种状态。
Tena, therefore,
因此
chi kame semla tepa sok chungna. If at that moment, just as your mind is about to switch to the more primitive state of mind,
所以在那个时刻，就在你的意识准备要转化到那种很原始的觉知状态的时候，
if you can activate a good seed,
如果你能够去引发一些好种子，
that's the moment that you should try.
那个就是你应该尝试这么做的时刻。
So you and your loved ones,
你以及你的爱人，
you should try at that moment.
你们应该在那个时刻尝试。
Just as you're losing awareness of this world,
就当你在丢失着对这个世界的觉知时，
Neche means it's extremely important
Nietzsche 的意思就是这是很重要的。
to try to go out. We say go out of the picture with a pure state, virtuous state.
这里的我们要尝试去带着一种非常纯净的、非常善的这个状态。
Then Pabonka Rinpoche, who's the author here, the speaker,
然后呢，帕bonka仁波切也就是本书的作者，
who was one of my teacher's teachers,
他是我的老师的一位老师。
when my teacher was a young man,
当我的老师很年轻的时候，
he addresses a frequently asked question.
他就是回答了一个经常被问的问题。
Gyundu gewa cheken ki chopa shik yinkyang. Now you may be a Dharma person,
那或许你是一个修行人，佛法修行人。
and the Tibetan is literally Dharma person, chopa.
然后藏文就是真的叫做修佛法的人，修法人。
Cho means Dharma,
缺的意思就是法，
and chopa is an unusual word, but it means person who likes to do Dharma.
缺把的意思就是那个就是特别乐于修行、做佛法的事情的人。
So Gyundu gewa cheken, you can be a person their whole life was a pretty good person,
你或许会是一个就是一辈子你都在修善的好人，
and you were a shik chopa shik. You were a Dharma person
你是一个修行人。
for $20.
$20的问题
What's the word kyang?
，"can" 这个词是什么意思 ？But
Dang.
但是
He's correct again.
好，他又答对了。
If you get rich, you have to spread it to all the online stuff.
OK，
Okay, even though
那即使
you may be maybe you were a pretty good person your whole life.
就是你一辈子都是一个真的比较善良的人
Kyang,
，but
but
但是
chikar, at the moment of that death, when you lose this world consciousness,
但是呢，在那个你临终时，在准备着丢失这个粗想，就是粗糙的觉知的时候，那个时刻，
kongchotaboke, if you suddenly get an emotion of anger at somebody,
突然间就是升起这样的情绪，例如是对某人的愤怒，
chisam migewala sutap, that karma will be triggered.
那个善业就会被触发。
And remember, Vasubandhu said,
请记得这个世亲菩萨说 closer，
yeah, closer to death.
就是
And
接
I
近
think
死
he's
亡的时
talking
候。
about this moment.
那我想他讲的就是这个时刻。
Sometimes I taught it to people like in the last week or the last 2 weeks.
有时候我教的时候，我说的是可能是最后1周或者最后2周临终的时候。
But this one seems to be in that crucial few minutes when you are losing awareness of this world and you're going into that like primitive state of mind.
但是这个例子讲的似乎应该是在你临终时的那个最关键的时刻，那最后那几分钟内，你正在丢失着这个对这个世界的觉知，然后进入到那个细微的觉知那个几分钟里。
So here's the bad news.
以下是坏消息，
Mundo Miguelamin, the bad karma will ripen first.
那这个
That
恶
new
业，
bad karma.
那个新的恶业会先成熟，
Ngensong du zhou. You will go to one of the 3 lower births.
然后你会掉到下三趣当中，
Animal,
畜生，
spirit,
或者是
hungry spirit,
恶鬼，
or hell realms.
或者是地狱。
And then here's the good news.
但是还有一个好消息，
Yun du dikpa chicken laang. But if you're the kind of person who spent their whole life doing bad things,
但是如果是你一辈子都作恶的那种人，
te ring day. Te ring day means the same pattern applies to you, luckily.
Derrinte 的意思就是这同样的规律能够以此类推到这一类人身上。
So if you've been a not very good person your whole life,
意思就是如果你一辈子都不是一个特别善良的人，
but in the last minutes of your life,
但是在你临终的最后几分钟里，
you take refuge in the 3 jewels.
譬如说你向这个三宝做皈依，
You think of some holy being.
或者你去意念一些圣者，
And there's a great Christian custom
有这么一个非常好的基督教的传统，
that the priest will try to be there as you die.
就是当你临终的时候，牧师会尝试到你身边来，
And they will like whisper in your ear, imagine all your bad deeds are clean.
然后他们会在你的耳边就是细声说，去想你所有的这个罪行都全部被清理掉。
And in Buddhism, we would also say,
那在佛教当中我们也会说，
if your last thoughts are pure and you regret your bad deeds,
如果你最后的一个念头是纯净的，你对你的恶行做忏悔，
then that last karma would take priority over a whole life of not very good karma.
那个最后所造的善业就会优先跑到你一辈子都在造的不善业，你的恶行前面。
So let's try to die well, okay?
所以让我们努力好好的死去。
And I think that would involve training your family to help you at that moment.
那我认为这也会包含，就是在去训练你的家人，让他们能够在那个时刻帮助到你。
Now, at that moment, as your consciousness shifts,
然后在那个你的意识发生转移的，你的觉知发生转移的时刻，
if we're standing there watching you,
如果我们站在那里看着你，
is there any indication that you're going to go to a good place or a bad place?
那有没有任何的迹象能够让我们知道你会去到好的地方还是不好的地方？
And this is kind of subtle.
这还挺细微的。
Then door drona tremene ya ninga duadang. If you're gonna go to a good place,
如果你将要去往善去，
the warmth of your body
你身体的这个温度暖度，
withdraws from the feet to the heart.
然后从脚收缩到心间，
So that person's feet get cold first.
所以那个人的身体他是脚会先发冷，
Then their lower leg.
然后他的这个小腿的部分，
Then their thigh.
然后他们的大腿，
Then their abdomen.
然后他们的这个腹部，
And then the warmth dissipates at the heart.
然后那个温度会在心间消掉。
Now, if you're going to go to a bad place,
但如果你即将要去的是不好的地方，去到恶趣的话，
and the opposite would be the case if you're going to a bad place.
那如果你去的是恶趣不好的地方，那相反的情况就会发生。
So some people would say that the warmth retreats, the cold comes in this way.
所以有人会这么说，就是这个温度是这样从上而下来消散的。
So there's different options of the warmth coming in and the warmth coming out.
所以有不同的这个可能性，一个就是暖度收到心间，另外一个是暖度就往下消失。
Nature che chung song la tak pe she. You can also get an indication.
你也可以得到另外一个迹象来观察，
of where the person's going to go
来知道这个人会去到哪里，
by how much nature kidungel do they have.
看看他们有多少的 nature kidungel。
And this is a very this is an idiom in the ancient language.
这是古经文当中的一个俚语。
Dungel is easy, that means
Dungel 的意思很简单 ，suffering。
suffering.
Dungel 的意思就是苦。
Nature means the crucial points in your body are getting cut.
Nature 的意思就是你身体的这些关节处啊，就是被截肢解掉。
And there's a Sanskrit is called marma cheda.
有一个梵文叫 Mama Cheda。
So marma, you know, it's a crucial point.
妈妈，大家知道这个意思，就是一个命门。
For example, there's an artery right here
比如说这里有一个关键的这个命门
with a small
动
cut.
动脉，如果你这里小小的割一刀的话，
You can kill a person,
你就能够杀死一个人，
and nobody can fix you.
没有人能够救你的。
Then that's called marma,
这里就叫做这个命门，
crucial point.
一些致命的地方。
Literally means death point, and the Sanskrit mar means like murder or mortuary.
它这个词义啊，词义上的意思就是这个死门或者死穴，就是一碰就会死的地方。
And cheda means cut, like in vajra chedika for $0.
Cheta 的意思就是去切割 diamond cut 的，
Yeah, to cut.
就是切割的意思。
So when those crucial, like chakra points get cut,
所以当这些关键的地方被截肢、被切割的时候，
when the life dies in those crucial places,
当就是生命在这一些关键点死去的时候，
there's a special sharp pains.
有一种很特别的、很尖锐的苦。
And they say it's worse than any pain you can have in your whole life.
据说就是这样的苦会比你一生当中任何的苦都要更加的严重。
So if the person is dying and they're like screaming really loud,
如果那个人在临终的时候，在死去的时候，他们这样子，然后他们尖叫得很大声，
it means nature kidunga. Those crucial points are being cut.
意思就是这些关键点被切割，
And they are going down.
然后他们将会往下掉。
Okay. Then he explains the word nature, which we did already.
他就有解释到这种截肢苦这个词，我们已经做了解释了。
Gashik chikane chunang sharte. Some people, when they die, they start to have hallucination.
当有些人临终的死去的时候，他们会开始出现一些幻觉。
Sharwa here means they have the impression.
Shawa 的意思就是他们这里有产生这样的印象。
And this is a strange expression that blocks of Chinese tea are being stacked on their chest.
就是这是一个很特别的一种描述，就是说一个中国的这种茶砖呢、就是压到他的胸膛上，
Then they feel very heavy crushing.
然后他们会感觉到非常重的这种压力在他的胸膛上，
Or some big guy is shoving down on their chest.
或者有一些很壮的人压着他的这个胸膛。
Then Pabon Rinpoche gives a few real examples that maybe he saw this, I don't know.
然后帕蓬卡仁波切就举了几个真实的例子，或许他有看到这些真实的情况，我也不是很确定。
Ngar Lasar Shungse Changze Nangsen. Before, there was in the city of Lhasa,
前些时候在拉萨市
there was a government official.
有一个政府官员，
Shung here means federal government.
训的意思就是这个联邦政府，就是比较高级中央政府的官员。
Then they use a very unusual Tibetan word called Nangsen.
他用了一个很不寻常的藏文词，叫做 namsen。
Nangsen.
Nangsen，
Yeah, it means eat inside.
意思就是吃里面。
Yeah, and it means of a low government official who didn't get a salary.
意思就是说，一个比较低级别的政府官员没有得到薪水，
They just get food.
他们只得到食物
Okay, that's all.
啊，只是这样的意思。
Or a person who's a servant or a slave in those days, they don't get a salary, they just feed them.
或者说，就是那个时候的一些仆人或者是奴隶，他们是没有薪水可领的，只是会被喂以食物而已。
Then chakua he stole some tea.
然后 chakur 的意思就是他偷了一些茶。
Chika jaga mambo nen ongwe chunang nyamba chungte. Then as he died, he had this hallucination that there were boxes of Chinese tea stacked on his chest.
然后当他死的时候，他就出现了幻觉，就是有一块块这样的中式的茶砖呢，然后压在他的胸膛上。
Then he had these terrible hallucinations.
然后他就出现这种非常恐怖的幻觉。
And Shiva Siktu means our Lama described in his teaching how he had witnessed that himself.
然后 Shiva Siktu 的意思就是我们的上师在他的教授当中有提到他自己如何看到这样的真实的情况。
Zangne Bumbo Shik, and then there was like an official from Zhang, which is the state north of Lhasa.
然后呢，在这个就是在拉萨市以北的一个区，也就是后藏那边有一个这样的官员。
Chikar means as he was dying.
Chikar 的意思就是当他死的时候。
He yelled out, "Oh, there's many strong men crushing my chest."
然后他大声的喊出来，说有很多很强壮的大汉压在我的胸膛上。
And he died, which really means his consciousness shifted levels.
意思就是说他死了，也就是说他的觉知已经转移到另外一层上了。
With great jigdak means terror.
然后带着极大的恐惧。
So jig means fear.
Jig 的意思就是恐惧。
We have a good dear friend called Jigme.
我们有一个非常亲爱的朋友叫做 Jigme.
And that means fearless.
意思是无畏，就是无惧。
The Sanskrit is
它梵文是
Abhaya.
Abhaya.
And that was the name of Naropa.
那是那若巴的名字。
His original name.
他的这个原来的名字。
Okay, Gewa Chepang. Now, if you're a person who did some good karmas.
那如果你是一个造了一些善业的人
Even if you're a Zhangbo, means a beggar.
即使你只是一个行乞的乞丐
And here's another idiom that has sen meaning to eat in it, lam sen.
然后这是有另外一个俚语跟吃有关的，就叫 lamsen.
So guess what's a lam sen without looking at my notes?
Lamsen 是什么意思 Eats out?
Lam rim?
Path?
Yeah, he eats on the road, means he's poor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lamsen 就是在路上吃饭，意思就是他很贫穷的意思。
Like he's sitting on the side of the road, he asks for, "You have an extra piece of pizza?"
意思就是他在这个路边，然后就祈请说有没有多一块披萨给我啊？
And then he just sit there on the side in the dirt and eat the pizza.
然后他就在这个泥路边，然后就吃这一块披萨饼。
So forget it. He's not a big government official.
所以看看吧，算了吧，他不是一个很大的这个政府官员。
He's just sitting there. Guk means he's waiting. De means sitting on the side of the road, hoping someone will give him some piece of pizza or something.
所以他只是在这个路边等待着，就是有人施食给他一块披萨饼之类的。
Chiwa Nyewana, and then he was close to dying. He started to die.
然后他已经要接近死亡了，在临终时了。
Kang Sangdang Ukapanawa Chuandang. He saw palaces and beautiful white light, and he saw some kind of paradises.
然后他就看到了一些宫殿或者白光，看到某种类似天堂的景象。
So if you have good karma seeds,
所以如果你有善的种子，业力种子，
also get some just before the mind shifts levels.
所以就在那个意识转移之前，
you will have some extraordinarily beautiful visions.
所以你会得到一些极度美丽的这个景象，会看到。
And Chisang is like a district in Tibet.
Chisang 就是在藏地的一个区名。
Mani Mambo Tembe Gemo. There was an old lady.
有一位非常年迈的老太太。
But she used to do a lot of Om Mani Padme Hums with a good heart.
然后她呢，经常带着一份善心，念了很多 Om Mani Padme Hum 这样的咒语。
Chikar, when she died,
Chika 当她死的时候，
she had many beautiful visions.
然后她遇到了非常多美丽的这个景象，看到了。
The Tsul here means our Lama described those to us.
Tsul 的意思就是我们的上师对我们描述了这样的 事情。
And then he ends this segment.
然后他是怎么结束这一段的呢？
De tabitak nam machi kone ngondotar chuayan. When you get these kind of visions,
当你得到了这样的这个景象，看到这样的景象的时候，
it's not actually the moment of death.
这实际上不是死亡的时刻，
They are kind of like preliminaries.
它有点像就是死亡的前兆，在那之前的。
Yeah, so it's not like you have that vision and you go there immediately or something.
并不是说你看到这样的景象就会立刻去到那里，
It's while your mind is still in this world,
而是当你的意识仍然在这个世界上的时候，
you will have those visions.
也会看到这样的征兆。
But then the mind shifts to that very like almost animal state of mind.
然后呢，你的意识转移到另外的一层状态，几乎像动物那样的意识状态。
So to summarize the point of this section, and don't forget the picture of a person talking to someone dying.
那我们来总结一下这一堂课的要点，请不要忘记那幅图。我们选择那幅图就是一个人在对躺在临终床上的人说话。
You know, a lot of people ask lamas, including my lama,
很多人有问一些上师，包括我的上师这样的问题，
oh, after someone dies, what can I do to help them?
就是说当一个人死去之后，我能做点什么事情来帮助他。
But what they're saying here is a very good time to help someone.
但是他们这里提到的是一个帮助某人非常好的时机是，
Is before their awareness of this world collapses.
就是在他们对这个世界的觉知崩溃之前，
Talk to them about the good things they've done in their life.
所以可以跟那个人谈一谈他在今生所做过的很多好事。
Maybe they did many bad things in their
或
life.
许他们的确一生当中做了很多恶行，
This is not the time to talk about them.
这不是去谈论这些恶行的好时机。
This is the time to say something encouraging.
这是一个说一些启发人的话的时机。
And any little thing you know that they did a good thing,
就是任何你知道的他做的一些小小的好事啊，
praise them
去表扬他们，
and say, "Oh, you should be so happy.
然后去跟他们说，哦，你应该感到很开
You
心啊，
remember you did that good?
你还记不记得你做过那一件好事？
That was amazing."
那真的很棒啊。
So, what this section is talking about,
所以这一堂课所讲的是，
if you want to help other people,
如果你想要帮助另一个人，
then remind them
那就要提醒他们，
while they're still aware of this world
当他们仍然觉知到这个世界的时候，
about the good things they did.
去提醒他们所做过的善事。
Then there are descriptions in some traditions about poa,
然后有一些传统当中有提到波瓦法，
and these are special methods to use after you lose this world's awareness.
这是一些很特别的方法，是用于在你丢失了对这个世界的觉知之后的。
When the awareness drops down to almost animal level,
当你的觉知水平掉入到几乎等同于动物意识状态的时候，
you have a standard set of hallucinations.
你会遇到一系列的比较标准化的幻觉，
And they are connected to the dissolution of the elements in your body.
这一系列的幻觉呢，是跟你身体的各大元素的消融是有关系的。
Sachu melung.
地水火风，
Yeah, so as the earth element collapses in your physical body,
所以当你的这个物质身体的地元素消融的时候，
your primitive mind has a perception of earthquakes or landslides.
你的原始的这种意识状态就会看到，就是譬如说地震或者这个地皮分裂这样的幻觉。
And then as the water element dissolves,
然后当这个水元素消融，
you have this perception of floods. You're carried away under flood, you're drowning.
然后你会被看到这样的幻觉，就是你被这个洪水给冲走。
Then as the fire element dissolves,
当这个火元素消融的时候，
you have this hallucination of a desert and fire.
你会就是看到有沙漠或者大火这样的幻觉。
And then lung as the wind element starts to
然后-
conclude.
然后当这个弄就是风元素开始消融结束时，
First there's like a tornado.
然后你可能会看到一个龙卷风，
But then you see a very like a still candle flame,
然后你看到一个非常像静止的这个蜡烛的火光，
and it's steady. It's not moving at all.
是非常稳定的，它一动不动。
So those are standard hallucinations that everybody has as they die.
然后以上这些是一个比较标准式的，就是每个人死的时候都会遇到的系列的幻觉。
And we described them in a previous Lamrim section.
所以我们有在之前的这个道次第的教授当中有提到，
And if you're interested in them,
如果你感兴趣的话，
Tim is gonna put up a web address.
所以听会为我们放上这个网站网址对应
If
的
you
网址。
have some extra time during your online retreat,
如果你在你的线上进修营当中有一些额外的时间，
then you can go listen to those
你可
descriptions.
以去听听这样的相关的描述。
For a person who has practiced many, many, many years,
对一个已经修行了很多很多年的人来讲，
how to die,
修行多年关于如何死去的人来讲，
there is a few moments space
的确是有几个就是短暂的瞬间，
in that insanity
在那种疯狂当中，
where you could see emptiness.
你是可以在那几个短暂的空间的机会当中看到空性的。
But I would say the chances of that are like 1 in a million.
但是我会说，这样的几率啊是100万分之一。
So the recommendation of my teachers,
所以我的老师的建议是，
don't wait till you're in the middle of these intense hallucinations where the whole world is collapsing.
所以不要等，老师的建议是，不要等到当你在这个全世界都在崩溃的强烈的幻觉中时才这么做，
Don't wait till then to try to see emptiness,
不要等到那个时候才去尝试直见空性，
because the odds are like 1,000,000 to 1 against you.
因为这样的几率是几乎是100万分之一。
It's better
更好的是，
sitting at home,
坐在你家里，
watching a pleasant online retreat
然后去观看一个非常令人愉悦的在线精修营的课程，
with a comfortable couch
然后坐在一个非常令人舒服的沙发上，
and a nice incense,
然后呢点着好闻的香，
nice quiet meditation room.
在一个非常好的、舒适的、安静的冥想房里，
Then try to see emptiness.
然后尝试去看见空性。
Okay, we'll see you in the next segment.
好的，我们下一堂课再见。
And thank you for being with us.
谢谢你跟我们在一起，
And thank you, Stanley, for translating.
谢谢 Stanley 的翻译。